Hello everyone and welcome. Today's Spellbinders Club's day and we're going to create this card, but we're going to look at a lot of the club items. So I'm going to show you some items that we're not going to work with, but we'll get around to as the week progresses. I've got the Deluxe Caboodle Club bonus here, and this is called Number One Fan, and it is a super fun die set. And then in addition, I've got the exclusive Caboodles add-on here, and this is the Glimmer Press and Foil. It's called Edge Effects. It just creates this really cool background panel, and it's got 4 sentiments that go along with it. In addition to that, I have got the Betterpress of the month, and it is called Greeting Maker, and it has got a bunch of great sentiments. You've got happy birthday to the best friend ever, happy birthday wishes to you, to the best day ever, Father's Day, Mother's Day, brother, best. You've got mom, and dad. Did I say you've got thank you? Just lots and lots of greetings. This is a great greeting maker. It's the Betterpress of the month, March of 2026. And we have also got the embossing folder of the month, and this is called Solar Flare. And I just embossed a blue panel, and it just looks like kind of like a star or just kind of a flare. And we've got twinkles and dots in it, just super fun background pattern. Now this particular one here, I don't have the packaging for, but this is called the Classic Kicks. And this is a great looking tennis shoe with all the fun elements. We've got a hot dog. We've got all of our grill apparatuses here. We've got some florals. We've got a beer bottle. Just super, super fun. It's a big set, and there are lots of pieces. You could use many of them on their own to create different types of cards. You've got the beer bottle and the grill tools you could use. You could do the florals. I've also got the die of the month, which is called Unstoppable. And you've got a superhero female on here with a cape, and we've got the clouds, and we've got 4 different sentiments that go along with this set. Super fun. Not going to work with it today, but will be forthcoming. And then next I have got the stitched die of the month, and it's called Everyday MVP. And this is a cool ball cap, and you've got all the stitching elements, and you've got 3 sentiments that come along with it. Lots of layering pieces. You can use different colors for shading and stuff. Very cool. We're going to get to that later in the week as well. So what I've chosen to work with on this video, as the picture that you saw in the beginning probably clued you in, we're going to use the Classic Kicks. And we're going to get to assembling it. And I'm just going to get my all of my pieces together here, and we're going to assemble it. So here we've got the white base, and then we've got the back of the shoe, and then I've die cut out the canvas part in red, and then we've got the rubber kind of sole of the tennis shoe and the toe, and then the little extra decorative element that'll go on the toe there. And we've also got, I'm going to pull them out eventually, but I've got the kind of the laces and the strings and everything. I've die cut those all out in white as well. So we're going to pull those out. So you've got like kind of the laces, and then you've got 2 different strings. One's a little bit curly, and then the other one's a little bit straighter. We've also got like a medallion, like that sewn on thing that would be sewn onto the canvas tennis shoe. And it just layers up very nicely. That smaller white piece goes on the back of the shoe to kind of finish out kind of the inside of the shoe. And then I'm just laying the trim down here, and then I'm going to put the toe down, and then I'll put the trim piece that goes on the toe. Now there is another decorative element to this. It's a strip, and I've die cut it out in red. And as I'm assembling this right now, I haven't grabbed it yet, haven't seen it. When I go to get my flowers, I'll see it, and then I'll get it added on here. But it just adds an extra little decorative element to the sole of the shoe, these are just super cute. Love this shoe. These are just really cool shoes, very fun, old school, and I think that's why they're called Classic Kicks. Anyway, so we're going to get this lined up. I'm going to glue this on here, and then I'm going to think, no, you're going to stuff that shoe full of stuff. So you don't want to put that on there yet. We'll put that on later. So I just pulled it off, laid it aside, and we're going to start assembling our shoe. So just kind of wiping the glue off the back of that so it wouldn't stick to my glass mat. And then we're going to just get all of our pieces. Here's the little medallion. I suppose it would have the logo on there or whatever, just giving it a little press. And then we're going to get our laces laid down on here. And so I'm just going to put a little glue on each of the edges, making sure I've got it in the right direction. And we'll just get a little bit of glue down on there, enough to get it to stick. And then just give it a little press. Very fun set. And then we've got kind of a straighter string. I'm just kind of following the picture on the piece of paper that I printed out from the little site that I have that gives me a little bit of information prior to the release. I couldn't print off the actual cover sheets yet because they're not live on the site when I'm doing this. I'm doing this in advance of the product going live. Anyway, so I'm going to put the little kind of curled string, shoelace to the back, and then we're just going to start assembling our decorative elements. Now I've taken the spatula and the, I don't know, fork, and die cut it out of the silver metallic cardstock from Spellbinders. And it's kind of hard to get it to glue. It takes a minute to glue. So I went ahead and used my tape runner and put just a strip of tape down on there, then put some glue on my little wood handle here, and it'll help it to stick while I'm waiting for the glue to dry. I'm going to do the same thing with a, I don't know, it's like a meat fork is what I have one of those. I'm not sure exactly what you call it, but anyway, we're going to get the wood piece laid down on that. I just took some Spellbinders brown cardstock. I think I used truffle on that, and then I've used just some Michael's Craft for my beer bottle, and I've got the little bottle cap right here. And I dropped my phone. And I'm just going to put the tiny little bottle cap right there on the top of the bottle. And then we have two label pieces that we're going to add. There's a label piece that goes in the middle of the bottle, and then there's one that goes on the, I guess, the rim or the more narrow portion of the body. Just add decorative elements. Super, super fun. And you could use any colors and make this any kind of a bottle that you want. Very, very fun. Next, we've got a hot dog, and I've taken and I've die cut it out in a couple different colors, and I wasn't exactly satisfied with the first color. So I colored it or die cut it out in a second one and thought I'll add some ink to it. So I'm just grabbing my little orange ink blending brush and just putting a little bit of blending on both the bottle and the bun for the, I guess, hot dog or kielbasa or whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to get that layered up on there, and I think it adds a nice little touch to it, just that little bit of orange, just a little bit of shading. Didn't really shade much of anything else, but I just kind of wanted to get that bun the right color. So next, I'm just going to start pulling in some of my floral elements and start assembling them. The centers to the flowers are interesting. They actually die cut out like a circle, and then the inside of it falls out. And there are just a couple of different types of centers, and interesting. And I'm just going to kind of mix and match. I don't know that I'm assembling them exactly as they were intended, but I don't think it matters. I'm just creating different types of flowers. We've got some larger ones, some smaller ones. We've also got some buds. And one of these, this particular one here, this green piece here, is the stem for these buds. And so I'm going to get them laid down on there. And I think I did put a little bit of orange on them. And then we've got these circle, this is one of the circle pieces where the center of it falls out. And this is another one in green, but it stayed intact. And I'm just going to lay it down there intact and let the glue adhere both the center and the outside circular piece. Now this one, I'm going to glue it down. And then I think I bring in a different color to insert in there. And I think that was the intention, was that you could use the circle and then bring in another color and just kind of mix and match. And so I'll just stick a green center in there, and we'll just get to assembling all these little different flowers. And you can see here's a smaller one, and there's just all kinds of little bits and pieces in there. Now, if you'll notice in that tray, there's that strip of red. It's just a real fine strip. That is the decorative piece to the sole of the shoe that I was talking about, that I didn't see at the time when I was assembling my shoe, and I'll have to come back in and assemble it. So I'm just, like I said, just mixing and matching the little different pieces and just creating some floral elements. And this is a good time to have your wax tool to pick up all these little bits and pieces. There, that one wasn't completely adhered, and I went to add something to it, and it stuck to my glue. So I'm just going to give it a little press and use my poke tool to help get it to lay down. And just adding additional colors to the florals just to make it interesting. We're going to really pack this shoe full of stuff. In the pictures, they show it with either the flowers or the grill elements. I'm going to do all of the elements, and we're just going to have a very full shoe. Just continuing to kind of layer up these florals and just add a different look to them. So here's where I finally noticed I've got to put this strip on the bottom of my shoe, and this is where it goes. It adds just a real nice extra bit of collar to the sole of the shoe. And I've got my little shoestring down there, but I did not glue that down, so it was easy for me to slide that back in there. So look at that. It just adds so much detail to it. And I'll tell you, I've got this big heavy sweater on today. I was watching a video, and I think it had ended, and I was moving on to another one. That's why I was reaching across there. But it's actually very warm outside. It's warmer than it has been in a while here in Indiana. And the last couple times that it's gotten real warm like this, for some reason, I've been cold, and I can't figure it out. It's really nice outside, but I don't know if it's because it's warmer outside and the heat in the house isn't kicking on, so I'm actually cold in the house. I'm not cold as much outside, but I don't know what it is, but crazy. But we have had a couple of nice sunny days that have been up in the almost, I think we almost made it to 60 yesterday. I'm not sure what the high temp is today, but anyway, I'm going to lay my fork and my spatula down there, and I'm just using the kind of the back of that shoe to layer my pieces up. It's just kind of giving me a nice little gluing point to just add them. I'm going to tuck my bottle in between here, and I just keep testing it with my shoe to make sure I've got everything within the area of the shoe so it'll look, like it fits. And then we'll just keep tucking and adding and just getting it fuller and fuller as we go. This is a really fun set. I think if you want to make like a birthday card for a guy or something, you could maybe leave the floral elements off and just go with the hot dog and the grill and the beer, and do that. And if you want to, make a really girly girl, you could have a pink tennis shoe with, all the flowers and everything. That'd be really pretty. Now, I do like how this one turns out, even though I'm using all of the elements. I think it's fun. I'm going to tuck my hot dog in between the tines of the fork, and I'm just using some of that tape runner just to get it to adhere and stick on that metallic cardstock. And then we're just going to keep tucking our flowers as we go. Super, super fun set. I'm telling you what, Spellbinders never disappoints. They never disappoint. Love all the materials. Now here I have taken that exclusive Betterpress that goes with, it's exclusive to the caboodles, and I've created this panel in blue. I actually did two. I did one in red and one in blue. I'm going to clean this mess off my desk here, and we're going to get to assembling, but I'm going to use the blue one for this one, and then I've got a red one that I can use for some of the other elements. I will tell you, stay tuned, because I will be working with all of these products on my channel, and so you're going to want to come back to see what I do with the rest of them, because they are super fun. So I didn't have this pressed on that white cardstock squarely, and so I decided not to use my guillotine there to cut it, and so I just kind of used my scissors to follow along the line of the press, and then hopefully that would help me square it off a little bit. So I want it smaller because I've got that piece of red laying there that I want to lay on the back and just kind of layer up so that we've got, an extra layer of color and bringing that red back in. And so I'm trimming this down, taking 1/4 of an inch off to where we've got 5 1/4 by 4, and we'll just have a little red peeking out behind there. I just think this is a very kind of a just traditional color scheme with the red, white, and the blue. And then we've added the yellow in, you know, with just some florals and stuff. I just thought it was a good combination. So I'm trying to get a card base ready. And apparently this stack I did not have scored yet. And this piece actually has a little little spot of something on there. So I'm making sure that I score it and fold it in a manner that it'll cover it up. So it's right there on that upper corner. And I'm like, well, this red's just going to cover it up. So we're just going to get it laid down and just cover it up. And no one will ever know I've got a little spot on my card base. So you can see that I've used the other little caboodles add-on to die cut out of the center of that, because I've got those pieces cut out. I actually took a knife and I just sat down and die cut out all of the pieces for all of these sets, and I've got them in little trays ready to go, and so they'll be airing on my channel soon. So I'm checking to see what on my glass mat, because I don't want to get the back of my card base all dirty. So we'll just get that cleaned up. It is a process, I'm telling you. I'm a messy crafter. So I'm going to zoom in. I just zoomed in with my camera. Got a little bit of a bounce there. And I'm just going to start building this. And I'm going to have to position this because I've got a lot. And I want to get my shoe on there. So I'm going to figure out how I can angle this and get my shoe on there. And it looks like this is going to work. Very fun. And we've got that great background with the kind of the blue dots from that edge effects, and I think it's going to make for a nice landing zone for all of this that we've got going on here. So we'll just get some of our Barely Art glue on there, and we'll get all of our decorative elements. Now I've got to try and get it at that right angle so that I can fit it on there. I don't want to make a gluey mess, so we'll get it laid down on there. It looks like it's going to work. Just give it a good press. And I'm going to need some foam. I've got quite a bit of stuff layered up on the back of that shoe. And so the bottom of this tennis shoe, this layer here, is going to need some foam on it so that we can kind of lay level. And it'll also allow me to tuck some other things in, because I've got that little pile of greenery and florals there. And I'm going to use them all. And we're going to tuck them in. So I could kind of just notch that right up next to it, and it would fit nice, and I'll still have an area to kind of slide things in as I want to. Very fun. So I'm just going to continue to bring in the rest of these little floral and greenery elements and just add to it and just kind of fill in. So we'll get some glue on there and get it laid down and just kind of tuck them in. Just testing out my little leafy elements and seeing where I can stick them. I think that looks nice. We'll get it laid down, and then we'll just tuck in these other flowers. This is a little bit of a longer video, but we're doing a variety of techniques. I am going to bring in the glimmer, and we're going to glimmer our sentiments for the inside of the card as well. So I hope you stay along with me to the end. If you do, let me know. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'm just going to tuck a couple more flowers in, and we're going to fill this card up. For this one, I'm going to pop it up a little bit so that it'll kind of layer over the top of the other elements that I'm layering up next to. And I can't stop. I'm going to just keep going. And we'll add a little yellow flower there. And we're going to bring this little red one in and tuck it in next to our little yellow flower. And I'm going to pop it up as well. And we'll just tuck it in there. And I think it's super cute. I think we've got a lot of fun going on the front of this card. And it's not so dimensional that you can't get it in an envelope. So I'm going to take my happy birthday, and I've got my glimmer machine going. I'm going to bring in some silver glimmer foil. And I'm going to do my, I've got the birthday down, but I'm going to do happy first. And I'm going to get it laid down on here. I could have done a better job of laying these down and lining these up, but it's going to work out just fine. It is a handmade card. So I'm just stripping off, clipping off a little strip of that. And at first I'm like, laying it down on there. I'm like, that's not right. It's been a minute since I've glimmered, and I'm standing there thinking, and it's pretty side to pretty side. I know that. And for whatever reason, my brain wasn't working. So we're going to get this cardstock. This is Poppy. Get it laid down on there, and we're going to set the timer, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut up a strip of this. I'll edit some of this out because it does, it does take a certain amount of time for it to heat up. And so we're going to give it a press, and we'll do the reveal. And we've got a really good foiling on there. I mean, it's almost perfect. And so I'm going to go ahead and swap out my birthday. And the reason why I did them separately is I'm going to use two different colors, two different pieces of cardstock. Now, what you could do is I could have taken and used the die that comes with this set and die cut out strips and then just laid them directly on there. But I didn't do it that way. You could certainly do it that way. And I'm going to get my blue one ready to go. I've got my happy. I'm going to take my die. I'm going to go die cut it out. Then we'll come back in and we'll have both our happy and our birthday. And we will have it for the inside of our card. And I think it's a really fun birthday card. I love the traditional colors that I've used here. Whoops. And we'll get the machine out of the way. And we've got these pressed beautifully. So we'll get some tape on there so it doesn't move around on me. And we'll go get this die cut out. And then we'll come back in and get our sentiment laid down on here. We'll be good to go. I just used some washi tape so it wouldn't tear my sentiment. And we've got happy birthday in red and blue. And I'm just going to bring it in and put it on the inside of my card. We'll get it laid down on here. And this is where I said I could have lined the happy and the birthday up a little bit. But it actually kind of looks like I've got the happy centered with the birthday. Once I get it laid down there, it's okay. Now, they did show on the packaging for this that you could use several of these strips and just make a full card front, and I'm going to do that. That's super cool. We'll do that on another video. So I'm just going to go ahead and line it up. I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, it's going to be okay. So we'll get it laid down on here. And I did go ahead and stamp the back of my card with my personalized stamper, and I thought I videoed it. Oh, I guess I did. I was thinking I didn't get it. So I'm going to just bring in my Shanna Makes It stamp, give it a good press, and we've got our card done. We've got the front, the inside, and the back stamp. My sister would be so proud of me. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider giving us a like. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.